It's the Big E Sports Extravaganza.
It's a tradition.
Your weekly destination for all things going on in the sports universe. We don't just talk X's and O's. We go beyond them. Bringing you some of the most engaging guests from around the nation. Fasten your seatbelts. It's showtime. Now, here's your hostess with the mostest, Elissa Walker-Campbell.
Hey, welcome back to the Big E Sports Show. I am your host, Elissa Walker-Campbell. Always an honor to spend time with one of the icons of the game, a three-time national championship coach at the University of Oklahoma, a Super Bowl winner, and a Hall of Fame figure. We are talking about Barry Switzer. Coach joins us to talk about the 2025 Oklahoma Sooners, their big win over Michigan. And we will also take time to reflect on his incredible career. Coach, it is so good to have you with us. How are you?
Lisa, I'm getting older. I'm living in Norman. I'm in my car right now. You might hear a seatbelt. I'm tells me to get my seatbelt on. I'm
yeah,
stoplight. It's
all good.
I'm going to another meeting. I'm doing well. I'm busy. I stay busy. I'm here 88 years old, a month away. But I'm working like I was 50 years old and just retired. But no, I don't want to retire. I want to work, and I live in Norman. I'm still here and been here for 59 years.
Well, the Sooners certainly keep you energized, Coach. So give us your takeaways on Oklahoma's win over Michigan last week. What did you see in that game, and what stood out the most?
Well, what I saw was a quarterback. We've got a quarterback that can make things happen, make plays. And I think it's special. We haven't had that in a while, and we've had great quarterbacks here. I thought we played well on defense, except for that one play. They got half their yardage on one play, that 75-yard run, first play of the second half. But other than that, our defense completely dominated their running game, and did pretty good. Obviously, in the pass game, I didn't think their passer. This kid they paid $12 million to didn't play, but should be on payroll this week.
Yeah.
The way he played against us. Didn't have the performance they expected from him, but we were the dominant team. Score doesn't even dictate really the game, because we were a much better team than Michigan was. And we were better on defense. The quarterback is good. I worry about our running game. I don't think we've got the great running back we've had in the past. Our receivers can catch the ball, but they're damn short. They're too short. We need tall receivers, and we don't have any depth there. So we're really short in those areas, running back and receiver core. But I think that the Oklahoma-Texas game will be a good game this year. In the past, it hasn't been. But this year, people are asking me for tickets. Or last year, they didn't ask me for any.
Yeah.
So they're already bombarding me for tickets, and the OU Texas game. But I think we're going to find out more as we play. And we play Temple this week. We play it there. Then we come back home and play Auburn. That'll be a game, another good big test for us. How we do there and move, that'll tell us how we're going to do in the SEC.
Yes, it is countdown to kickoff. Oklahoma Temple, as Coach Switzer was referring to, they are playing at Lincoln Financial Field, 11 o'clock kickoff Central Time tomorrow in Philly. But going back to that win over Michigan, I mean, what does a win like that mean in terms of recruiting and just the standard of excellence that Brent Venables has set at OU?
Well, what it's done is elevated the confidence of our fan base. Brent, this is a year he has to make it happen, because he's not in very good shape, I don't think, with the fan base, and he's got to win. It's a win season, must-win season for him. The last couple of years haven't been, and they need something to happen. And hopefully they've got the people in place now. Maybe it can happen. It's in front of us. We're going to open. We haven't played the SEC game yet, and that'll be Auburn, and that'll tell us a team that beat us last year, where we can be in this conference. I think that we've got a tough schedule, very tough, and if we play out this schedule, we'll definitely be one of the top teams in the country and be in the playoffs. But that's all in front of us. We got one at a time, and I've been in this game for a long time. and you got to play every one of them like the national championship game to win. You can't make mistakes. You've got to be able to capitalize on theirs. The team that makes the fewest mistakes probably will win every game.
Yeah, Brent Venables in year 4. He certainly has the fan base believing again. He's got his team believing again. And they're going to need that. You've referred to it a couple of times, talking about Auburn next weekend. They bring that SEC toughness. And just how important will the Sooners' physicality in the trenches be next week in Norman?
Well, it must come out every week. They must show their ability to play to the defense every week. That must be consistent. There's one thing about football. Offenses aren't always consistent. But defense has to be consistent, and they can play consistently good defense. And that's something that has to be done. You can win with defense, but you're going to have to score some points and protect them with your defense. And in the past, when my game was played, in the era I played in, always defense, the kicking game, and then offense. The front scores were what they were back in that era. But we dominated, but we ran the wishbone. We were a track meet every week. We had 400 or 500 yards rushing many times, 600 yards sometimes. I think we even had 700 one time. We set a national record that will never be broken because no one runs the football anymore, Elsa. Because we did 478 yards a game for 11 games in 1970, I think 71. And I don't think anyone will come close to that.
Yeah. 3-time national champion, the great Barry Switzer, with us on the Big E Sports Show. And let's talk hypotheticals. If Oklahoma, obviously they've already taken care of business against Michigan, but they will face Auburn next week. What would that do in terms of their playoff credibility if they should also win against Auburn?
Well, I think it's too early. I think that, obviously a win against Auburn just makes us just in the U.S. in the SEC where we'll even play them. We beat Auburn, then and how we beat them will determine where we set ourselves in the SEC. There are a lot of good teams out there. There really are. You look at who we've got to play and the ones we don't have to play, like Georgia on the other side of this conference. But we've got LSU, we've got Alabama, we've got teams like that, South Carolina, teams that beat us last year. We've got to be able to play every week like it's for a national championship, playing those type of teams. So it's all in front of us. It's too early to get that excited. We played 2 games. We won both of them. We got about 9 or 10 more to go. So let's just keep on hoping we just stay healthy and continue to play with this type of attitude on defense, and our offense improves.
Well, one of the things that has been remarkable to watch, you're talking about how the offense improves, but defensively, I mean, Coach Venables certainly has his plate full serving as the head coach and also as the defensive coordinator. How difficult of a task is that for Coach Venables to be platooning both between being the head coach and also the defensive coordinator? He's got a lot on his plate.
Well, he has, and he has someone I think named as the defensive coordinator, but he's always been a defensive coordinator. And so it's hard for him not to be involved in that. I was always the offensive coordinator, so I was strictly involved in the offense most of the time and communicated with our coordinator. But I let them do their job. I recruited them for that. I hired them for that. And I let my coaches coach. But I was involved. I knew everything. I knew every defensive call. I knew every offensive call. 90% of the time I agreed with them. We would discuss those that I did agree with. But you don't have much time. You have about 35 seconds to do it.
Yeah.
Before you have to snap the ball.
Well, Coach, let's be reflective and talk about some of your memories at Oklahoma. What still stands out the most? Of course, winning national championships in 74, 75, and in 85.
What stands out to me is my players. My great relationship. I always knew that I've always told their mamas if they come be with me, I'll treat them like they're one of my own, and I did. And I did violate NCAA rules that needed to do for the right reasons. Sending kids home when they had critical problems in the family, with death, accident in their family, or whatever the reason might be. They didn't have the funds to do it. I made sure they got home. And that's what you should do. I do that for anyone in my family. But that's just what I look back on and think about is those kids to be a part of our family, and they know that I love them and they love me, and they still do today. And I still help them today.
Yeah.
When they call.
Yeah. Coach, while we've got you on the program, you've got to share a Brian Bosworth story. What comes to your mind when you think about the Boz and his time at Oklahoma?
Well, everybody thinks about his haircut. Starts out hell over that when I was in college. That's all that was.
Yeah.
GI haircut.
Yeah.
But everybody wore a crew cut back in those days. But I think about him as an athlete and a student. People don't know that he graduated in 3.5 years. He was an honor student. But he did extremely well in the classroom, and he took a lot of pride in that. But his mouth, he did those things. He danced for the media, and they wrote all about it. He entertained them, and they made him the boss. I like Brian Bosworth. I didn't like the boss.
Mm-hmm. Well, as we're getting ready to wrap up our time with legendary coach Barry Switzer, today the NIL has completely reshaped college athletics. How do you think you would have navigated the name, image, and likeness era if it had been in place during your time at Oklahoma? What say you, Coach?
Well, I would have used all my money on defensive players. I would get all the rejects that these other people at the offensive line. They were the players I would play with anyway. And I would get all the Jamel Hallways out there, and I'd be running the wishbone, and I'd have track meets every Saturday.
Yeah.
Because half the team I'm playing against will have about 6 people that sit on the sidelines that play against all these teams that pass. There won't be any space players out there. They got to come play the running game. They got to know who's got the pitch, who's got the quarterback, who's got the dive back. All that. They got to do all that 1 week preparation. I promise you. They can't simulate that in practice with the players they've got on the scout team like what's fixing to happen to them on Saturday.
Yeah.
And no, I would like to have that opportunity, but I'm too old to do it. People ask me why aren't they doing it? Well, I said, well, the teams that do it win. That's academies, Army, Navy, Air Force. They still run it and they win with it because they do win. They couldn't line up in the other formations, have the talent to be able to compete. But that's my philosophy, and it would work today.
Well, beyond the NIL and the portal, coaches today face constant pressure from social media and outside noise. Coach Switzer, what advice would you give to coaches today about leading young athletes through these modern day challenges of just the social media and the outside noise? What would you say to coaches?
Well, I will tell you, I wouldn't coach in this era. I wouldn't want any part of it. I don't want to recruit a kid that at 18 years old walks in my office and says, well, you going to pay me to stay. Well, I just tell them, get out of here.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's not what it was in my era. My era, I was going to have them for 5 or 6 years. I was going to have a kid. I was going to know his family. I was going to know if it's his dad in the home. I was going to know the mama. I was going to know if there's siblings in the home. I know where he lived. I know all these things about him because I recruited him to come be a part of my family. And that doesn't exist today. It will not exist. So these kids won't ever have the networking and the friends because they will bounce around in the portal. Academics means nothing anymore. It's all about, I want to get to the pro. So I don't like it. I think they ought to have the rules of pros. If they want to be a pro, you pay them. When they sign with a team, they got to be there for 3 years before they can get the portal. That makes more sense because then they're a redshirt year. They got to play the freshman year. They got to play the sophomore year. That's the way it is in pro football. You draft them, you're going to have them for 3 years before they become a free agent. That's the way it ought to be in college. Kids ought to be able to be there long enough to even know who the teammate is. Yeah. That's not the way it is today, and I don't like it. I don't want to be a part of it.
Well, it was all family first. Your time at Oklahoma, your team's frequently recognized as some of the greatest ever produced when they get together. Just that sense of brotherhood that you instilled in your team. And just, I wonder too, Coach, just how gratifying that is for you to see, when you see some of your former players, just that camaraderie and that kinship between your teams and your former players.
Well, that's what I have today. That's what exists for me today. It's not coaching, but it's my relationships I have with my players. Meaningful relationship. Still have it today. We're having a reunion of the 85 national championship this year.
Nice.
Last year we had a reunion of the 1974, 75 national champions. I get a chance to see kids I haven't seen, some of them, in 50 years. And I had to call one who's living in Berlin, Germany, and he came back for it. So it's Billy Brooks, who's the first-round draft choice. He came back, and I hadn't seen him in 50 years. It's just those things are meaningful to me, and it was meaningful to him because he got to see his teammates. He played on 2 national championship teams. So it's just, that's what it's about. You get to know, you're there as a freshman, you know seniors. When you're a senior, you know the freshman. That's 8 years of players, networking, people you know, and relationships you have the rest of your life. That is gone today. It doesn't happen today, what they're doing. So it's not the game I want to be a part of.
Yeah. We are winding down our time with legendary coach Barry Switzer, and you are one of the rare coaches that won national championships in college and then also a Super Bowl ring. What was the toughest part of transitioning from college football to the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, first of all, I had a tough transition. I was the only one who went. I didn't know a coach was there.
Wow.
I know I did that one. It was good, but I inherited someone else's staff. I had challenged to find out, what their agendas were, who they were they could be loyal to me. And I had to take some time to do that, and that was tough. And the players didn't like what had happened. They got fired their coach. They didn't know why Jerry did that. So I had an angry squad. I had staff I didn't know anything about. I had a very challenging job. Obviously, we came with one game of winning the Super Bowl that year. Next year, we won it. So free agency started when I got in the league. I started siphoning off players. So we weren't the same team 3 years after I was there. We were in the playoffs all 3 years. And one year. But the 4th year I was there, I had lost too many good players. And I had Charles Haley was injured and threw his career was over. Novacek, best tight end in the league, was out. Every single tight end was out. And so I knew the arrow was pointing down for the Cowboys. And I decided to come back north of the Red River, back to Oklahoma.
That's right. Well, the Cowboys defeated the Steelers in 96, 27-17 in Super Bowl 30. We've been going one-on-one with the great Barry Switzer. And for all of our audience, get us up to date. I mean, what does life look like for you today? What are you doing, Coach?
I'm driving to the city right now for a meeting I have.
Okay.
I'm in business. I have several partners that are smarter and better than me, just like my coaching staff. People around me, I want to be as good as they can be. And I'm going to meet with a partner that I've had for 50 years. I have several businesses, LLCs I'm involved in, and hydroponic farming is what I'm involved in now. Building greenhouses and having produce that I sell to Kroger, Walmart, all buyers, all the top grocery chains around the country. Walmart, I'm in 11 DCs with Walmart. I deliver produce, headed lettuce, leaf lettuce. Here I am, an old football coach.
Wow.
For 50 years.
And you have not slowed down a bit. That is the legendary Barry Switzer, always honest, insightful, and a true pleasure to catch up with. We love you, Coach. Continued success, and we look forward to catching up with you again. Okay, hang in there. The golden years. Sometimes they're not so golden, huh?
All right, you bet.
You bet.
No times right now.
You take
care. Thank you. Enjoy being with me. You call me sometime. We'll do it again.
I will. Absolutely. Take care, Coach. Thank you, and enjoy the game.
Thank you.